This horrifying incident that occurred in May 2021 shocked the world with its brutality. The 13-year-old girl was found in the forest, and the police quickly identified the main suspect. When his identity became known to the public, people were shaken to the core. In this video, we will tell you what happened to Tristin Bailey and why this event still has America on edge to this day. Tristin Bailey lived in St. Johns County, Florida, just minutes away from the major city of Jacksonville. The area where she lived with her family was very picturesque and affluent. Surrounded by forests and dotted with dozens of ponds, together with the climate of the southern state, it created excellent living conditions. Tristin's parents had 5 children. The girl herself was energetic and determined. She was part of her school's cheerleading team, had many friends, and never lost her positive attitude. On Saturday, May 9, 2021, Mother's Day was celebrated in the United States. The residents of the county were preparing to participate in festive events, but these plans were not meant to be. At around 10 a.m., Tristin's parents contacted the police, reporting that they couldn't find their daughter. Law enforcement immediately began searching, and a few hours later issued an official statement about the disappearance of the 13-year-old girl. Hundreds of local residents joined the search, combing the streets and wooded areas. Many of them were dressed in festive costumes and dresses, but that didn't stop them. By this time, reporters had also arrived at the scene, which helped disseminate information about the missing child to the wider public. After 16 hours of searching, the police department held a press conference to deliver grim news. Tristin Bailey's body was found near a pond near Saddleston Drive, not far from her own home. She was discovered by one of the local residents who had seen the missing person notice about Tristin and joined the search. In his statement, the sheriff revealed almost no details. He said that the police would continue the investigation and urged journalists not to harass the family of the victim during this difficult time. However, it soon became known that a crime had taken place. This news shook the local community. In their prestigious neighborhood, such acts were rare, and no one could imagine such a thing happening. Hundreds of people gathered to support Tristin's family and honor her memory. Dozens of local residents also handed over surveillance footage from cameras installed on their homes to the police. They all wondered who could have done such a thing to Tristin, and these recordings indeed helped the police. On the morning of May 9th, Tristin was spotted on camera near the Durbin Crossing Sports Center in the company of an unknown person. Judging by his appearance, he was roughly the same age as the girl. He was wearing shorts and a light hoodie. The next recording, made by a camera on Saddleston Drive, captured them roughly half an hour later. They were moving towards the end of the street, which culminated in a dead end and bordered a wooded area. Nearly 2 hours later, the same camera captured the same person, but Tristin was no longer with him. He was walking in the opposite direction, and there was something strange here. The person was carrying his shoes in his hands. The police quickly identified this person. He turned out to be 14-year-old Aiden Fucci, who attended the same school as Tristin and lived nearby. Moreover, it was only a few minutes' walk from where the girl's body was found to Aiden's house. Detectives went to his home to ask some questions. They were particularly concerned about why he was walking down the street without shoes just meters away from where Tristin was killed. Aiden claimed he had a blister on his foot and decided to walk home without shoes. This explanation didn't satisfy the police, and they obtained a warrant to search his home. There they found the clothing he was wearing when caught on camera near Tristin. Some of the items had traces of a reddish liquid. By May 10th, the sheriff announced the arrest of Aiden Fucci. He was charged with second-degree heinous crime. At that time, the police kept some details secret and the public was in a state of shock. Could a 14-year-old child really have done such a thing? Immediately after Aiden's arrest, he posted a photo from the police car on social media. The boy took a selfie and added a horrifying caption, "Guys, has anyone seen Tristin lately?" Everyone was shocked by this act as the message sounded like mockery of the girl's tragedy. For many residents of the area, this was confirmation that Aiden was indeed involved in her loss. Soon after, the police department reported that during questioning, Aiden changed his versions of what happened several times, which further convinced investigators of his guilt. At the same time, detectives revealed extremely gruesome details about Tristin's tragedy. The perpetrator inflicted 114 blows with a sharp object. This indicated that the crime was deliberate and planned. The perpetrator clearly prepared for it. The police couldn't find the weapon in Aiden's house, but soon search teams discovered a knife at the bottom of one of the local ponds. Experts determined that it was the weapon used in the crime, but they couldn't lift fingerprints from the handle. To connect this crime to Aiden, the police needed more serious evidence than just suspicious camera footage or strange behavior after the arrest, and soon they got it. For several days, experts rapidly examined the items taken by the police from the suspect's house. Traces of Tristin Bailey's DNA were found on Aiden's shoes and shirt. As a result, the police had a weighty set of evidence, which was already enough to bring the case to court. However, in addition to this, investigators managed to obtain a partial confession from the teenager. Aiden admitted that he and Tristin were walking together on the streets, and at some point, an argument arose between them. Then the boy pushed the girl. She fell and hit her head on the ground. After that, Aiden supposedly went home. As you understand, this version is far from reality, given the many contradictions. It is possible that this story was concocted by the suspect's lawyer in an attempt to reduce everything to a charge of involuntary manslaughter. But with such a set of evidence, it was practically impossible. After interviewing Aiden's classmates and friends, the police found out another extremely disturbing fact. The teenager repeatedly mentioned his plans to take someone to the woods and eliminate them. None of his acquaintances considered it necessary to inform the parents or the police. Everyone thought Aiden was just joking. It turned out he openly talked about his plans. Considering the fact that the crime caused a storm of outrage in society, the police and the court worked at an accelerated pace. On May 11th, the first court hearing took place. Due to coronavirus restrictions, it was held via video link. Due to the suspect's age, they wanted to try him for the charge of second-degree manslaughter. However, the cruelty with which this crime was committed prompted the judge to take a 21-day pause to make a very difficult decision, whether to try the 14-year-old boy as an adult and bring charges of first-degree manslaughter against him. The punishment greatly differs depending on the degree, but more on that later. At the trial, Aiden looked bewildered. It was evident that he was struggling to hold back tears. Seeing such a sight, it's hard to imagine that this 14-year-old boy is capable of committing such an inhumane crime. A week later, Aiden's lawyer asked to recuse himself from the case. He did not specify the reasons for such a decision. However, here everything can be quite obvious. Not every lawyer can defend a monster with a clear conscience. As a result, a free lawyer was appointed to the teenager. There are several nuances worth mentioning here. In the state of Florida, there is the death penalty, but it is only imposed on persons over 18 years old. Aiden is only 14, so the maximum punishment he could receive is life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 40 years. On May 29th, the first court hearing was held under the new laws. There, he was only briefed on the case, and the final hearing was scheduled for June 10th. During all this time, Aiden was held in a separate block of the adult prison. When a teenager is tried as an adult, he is always separated from adult prisoners. I think it's unnecessary to specify what these rules are associated with. On June 4th, Aiden's lawyer sent a document to the court in which his client declared himself innocent. This meant that the court would have to prove his guilt, although no one doubted that the verdict would be guilty. As for Aiden himself, something strange happened to him. On September 1st, another video conference hearing took place. The boy suddenly started talking about demons, asking where he was and what was happening around him. Everything looked as if the boy had gone mad. Of course, a medical commission was appointed for him, which found him sane. The court sentenced him to 40 years in prison. Thank you for watching.